The GOP runs on mega donor fuel, while the Democrats are generally funded by all classes of people. The Democrats do have some mega donors in their ranks, like the tech industry, but they are still no match to the bottomless support offered by the mega donors on the GOP side. But Trump changed the equation slightly in 2016 and completely turned it around in 2020. Even the Wall Street people who generally favor the GOP kept largely away from funding the Trump campaign during the final stretch of the 2020 elections. By mid August, only 6 of the top 38 donors who donated to the Trump campaign in 2016 had opened their wallets for the presidential campaign. The $1 billion fundraising juggernaut the current president had built was mostly funded by small donors, an unusual position for the GOP, very similar to the Democratic fundraising machine. Trump wrestled control of the GOP from the mega donors and made it all about himself. Of course, the people capable of cutting 7 figure checks were not really happy about it, but they could still do nothing about it. They turned their attention to congressional and Senate races. And the rift has now finally come out in the open. Sheldon Adelson and Charles Koch are the two billionaires who are staunchly Republican, and both of them have called the lights out on Trump. Last week, Las Vegas Journal, run by Sheldon Adelson, and the one place where you can look to understand where Adelson is, ran an editorial titled President Donald Trump Seeks to Delay the Inevitable. Inevitable meaning calling Joe Biden the president elect. The editorial was indeed a bit scathing about Trump's efforts to undermine the integrity of the election. They wrote, and I quote, but the president does a disservice to his more rabid supporters by insisting that he would have won the November 3 election absent voter fraud. That's simply false. So, Mr. Adelson, whose money is extremely important for the GOP, has made it clear that Trump has to move on and there is no truth in Trump's claims about voter fraud. At least Mr. Adelson did open up his wallet in the last minute to help the Trump campaign after it became clear that Trump has ran out of money. But the Koch brothers completely stayed out of it, and from the time Trump became the president, the Koch brothers did not engage the Republican Party at the level they used to, and they stayed completely out of the 2020 presidential election. The GOP is well aware of their ability and is also aware that they are on the sidelines mainly because of Trump. And then there was the public breakup between Fox News and Trump. Trump has been going after Fox News repeatedly ever since the network called Arizona for Biden before all the other networks and plunged a dagger into Trump's plan to contest the election. So Sheldon Adelson out, Charles Koch out, Rupert Murdoch out. Today, Brad Raffensperger, Georgia Secretary of State, came out in the open and publicly admitted that some GOP leaders, mainly Lindsey Graham, are pressuring him to invalidate votes and interfere in the counting process. Do you think Brad Raffensperger is not aware of the implications of what Senator Lindsey Graham asked him to do? Do you think he was not aware of Sheldon Adelson saying that there is no voter fraud in this year's election? A man at his level will certainly be aware of everything that is going on inside his party. Some senators have already asked for the transition to begin, GOP senators, while most of them have largely kept quiet. Trump's decision to nominate Judy Shelton for the Fed has already produced 3 senators refusing to toe the party line. It is not clear if the GOP has the votes to push their own nominee. So the split is underway and the air bubble is slowly making its way to the top. Accept it or not, the moment Trump moves out of the White House, the spotlight will certainly move away from Trump and it will turn towards Biden. And if Mitch McConnell remains the Senate Majority Leader, then it will be focused on Mitch McConnell as well. Trump will certainly entertain his chances to create an extreme right wing TV network and may keep teasing us with a 2024 presidential run. But there is zero chance for him to keep the entire country hooked on to every one of his tweets. Biden has already created a template to handle Trump, a working template, which is to ignore him. Without Adelson's support and Murdoch's coverage, Trump will be cooked, irrespective of what he wants his followers to believe. Thanks for watching. If you like it, please subscribe.